researchers have identified 27 distinct emotions, writing, "We sought to shed light on the full palette of emotions that color our inner world. This video will demonstrate how all of these emotions exist across the species, how these same emotions are fundamental to the social lives of all animals, and how they also color their inner worlds." Admiration. Emotions are so fundamental to life that even higher-order emotions, such as admiration, are deeply rooted in the brain. Researchers tracing the brain patterns of admiration found that scans of the brain show that this feeling is rooted deep within the brain, where basic traits like anger and fear reside. That same area of the brain is also strongly interconnected with neural networks that regulate some of the body's most basic functions, such as breathing and blood pressure, which indicates that complex social emotions build on systems that evolved early, including those essential to our survival. Researchers think that the region in question, called the post-eromedial cortices, also plays a role in the maintenance of consciousness and the construction of self. The posteromedial cortex is a brain region in mammals that is involved in a wide range of cognitive functions. Admiration is important to social life because social life requires learning from social role models. Admiration motivates the internalization and emulation of ideals, embodied by an outstanding role model. Every social group across the species, from elephants to rodents, has social role models. These role models are central in passing down cultural skills, techniques, and preferences. And youngsters copy or learn from the most successful or admired individuals in the group. The young seek to emulate social role models in everything from food preferences to skills, strength, physical attributes, displays, courtship techniques, and building skills. Dominant males become social role models for young males and teach them hierarchical social systems, as well as fighting and courtship techniques needed to make their way up the social ladder. For example, mouflon sheep have a strict hierarchical structure, and young mouflons have to establish a strong social standing and obtain dominance before being allowed to mate. Their behavioral maturation does not only depend on age, but also on the presence of old dominant males. Admiration drives animals to become like their superiors, which perpetuates admired cultural ideals. Individuals choose mates based on these admirable ideals. Admiration is a common theme in the social lives of animals. The primary function of admiration is to promote individual learning and change, whereas adoration primarily serves to bind communities together. Adoration. Adoration is an essential, complex social emotion that holds social groups together. Across the species, there are three main forms of love and adoration, which extend to friends, partners, or young. In humans, brain scans revealed that love for one's children generated the most intense brain activity. In parental love, there was activation deep in the brain's reward system in the striatum area, and this was not seen for any other kind of love. The striatum is a brain region that plays a key role in the reward system of mammals and birds. The strongest form of love, which is parental love, is shared across the species. And while parental love is the strongest form of adoration across species, the adoration of babies crosses the species. And being adorable is a cross-species phenomenon. Cuteness may be an evolutionary development that helps species whose young can't survive on their own right away. The sight of a baby animal triggers our caregiving response, and cuter animals evoke stronger feelings. Babies have features that make them look cute, which triggers a response that is shared across mammals. And adoring cute babies is a trait we share with our mammalian relatives. When we encounter something cute, it ignites fast brain activity in regions such as the orbitofrontal cortex, which are linked to emotion and pleasure. The orbitofrontal cortex is a brain region in mammals that plays a key role in emotional processing and representing the value of rewards. Aesthetic appreciation. From the cute babies that win over their social group, to the beautiful feathers, colors, horns, antlers, muscles, and manes in mates. The aesthetics of things is important to animals across the species. Darwin first pointed out that the displays and plumage of birds show that a sense of beauty is not unique to man. Males build beautifully arranged and decorated bowers for the sole purpose of mating. In order to be able to do this, they must possess aesthetic sense, as do the females who choose their partner by evaluating the bowers. It's not just birds who appreciate the appearance of things. Ungulates also take the appearance of others into account. Female sheep exhibit preferences for approaching specific males when they are sexually receptive, using visual cues from their faces, indicating that facial attractiveness may influence mate choice. Female goats like beards on their mates, and males with longer, fuller beards use them to attract females. Female deer prefer males with larger antlers. Aesthetic features such as antlers, horns, and manes evolve because mates admire and select those features. The aesthetic beauty we see in animals is the beauty they see in each other. Already in animals, the aesthetic sense is a subtle one. The females do not just go for any qualities, but for highly distinctive aesthetic qualities. Both the display of beauty and the exercise of aesthetic sense can become ritualized and henceforth be practiced in situations that are no longer directly situations of desire. As the aesthetic sense as such already represents a special refinement of the general faculty of experiencing pleasure, it can continue to ascend to ever higher stages within its own sphere, with ever greater distance from sexual desire and more refinement taking place. Many species, including birds, have an acute eye for visual details. Pigeons can detect tiny differences in different images. They can differentiate between artists and tell a Monet painting from a Picasso. Researchers found that Java sparrows prefer Cubist to Impressionist paintings. While individuals have their own preferences, aesthetic appreciation appears to follow universal rules. Just as our aesthetic sense extends beyond our own species, so does theirs. Researchers found that chickens have the same preference for symmetry in human faces as humans do, and monkeys prefer visual stimuli that humans find aesthetically pleasing. It's scientifically demonstrable that animals have an aesthetic capacity. Awe. Aesthetic appreciation extends to nature. Researchers believe animals have an innate appreciation for nature. For example, grizzly bears often climb to high places to relax and look at the landscape. And monkeys may interrupt feeding to move to a place on cliffs where they can best watch a sunset. Awe is described as being overwhelmed with both wonder and reverence, and can be triggered by stimuli that are vast or beyond our current frame of reference. The most awe-inspiring stimuli come from nature. The experience of awe can be seen in animals across the species. It is a prevalent behavior observed throughout the animal kingdom to seek vantage points from elevated locations such as cliff tops and gaze at sunsets, vast landscapes, oceans, and waterfalls. Many animals exhibit physical responses to awe-inspiring natural phenomena. Chimpanzees will often dance at waterfalls with total abandon. This waterfall dance may last 10 or 15 minutes. When snow falls, many animals respond with elation. Chimpanzees dance at the onset of heavy rains and during violent gusts of wind and thunderstorms. The sensory experience of the vast elements of nature is shared across species. When we experience awe, several key areas in the brain light up. The prefrontal cortex, anterior cingulate cortex, and insula, brain regions that play important roles in cognitive, emotional, and motivational processes in mammals. While experiencing awe, the brain also releases dopamine, which explains why gazing at vast natural wonders is prevalent in the animal world. Amusement. The state or experience of finding something funny. The provision or enjoyment of entertainment. Humor, play, laughter, and entertainment serve the same purposes in the animal world as they do in the human world. They help individuals bond, build trust, break tension, and feel good. Animals find numerous ways to entertain themselves and each other, and they spend a lot of their time clowning about. For their own amusement and for the amusement of others. Birds and primates have been observed doing slapstick routines for cackling onlookers. Animals have been observed playing tricks on others, teasing others, and making gestures for the amusement of others. A new study shows that humans may not be alone in their love of playing practical jokes. Animals can tease each other too. Researchers identified 18 distinct teasing behaviors in primates. Acting to amuse others requires theory of mind because it requires knowledge of another's perception and expectation of normal behavior and anticipation of their response when that expectation is broken. President of the California Gorilla Foundation wrote of Coco the gorilla, "She thinks that me being clumsy is funny and will make laughing noises. She also has a special ho-ho laugh for visitors she especially likes." Laughter is common in the animal world, but we can't always hear it. Rats find playing hide and seek amusing and laugh when they get found. The classic play vocalization is a kind of chuckling or panting, similar to human laughing. Researchers found that at least 65 species were found to make play vocalizations, including mammals and birds. Anger. Anger is a self-protective emotion, important for self-preservation and self-defense, and is found throughout the animal kingdom. Animals become angry when their territory or resources are threatened, when their young are threatened, when their status is threatened, when mating opportunities are threatened, or when members of their group are harmed. But they don't always act on their anger. Fighting is risky in the state of nature because injuries are often fatal when there's no paramedic to patch you up. Animals are skilled at sizing up adversaries, and they only attack when they expect to win if there is no possibility of escape or if the lives of their young are in danger. Anxiety. Just like us, animals suffer from anxiety and anxiety disorders, and they can develop phobias, which are a type of anxiety disorder. For cats, in some cases, one traumatic event can cause a generalized fear response, resulting in a cat that exhibits fear or anxiety in many unrelated situations. Because animals develop the same anxiety disorders as we do, it is a sad fact that they are used as research models for human phobias and other anxiety-related disorders. Rodents exposed to anxiety-inducing conditions will self-medicate with anti-anxiety medication. Awkwardness. Awkwardness is a social emotion, a feeling of uncertainty, discomfort, and self-consciousness that can occur in social situations. When unsure of how to act in the presence of others, or while being looked at by others. Just as a human being exhibiting awkward behavior might fidget to detract from the situation, animals engage in self-directed behavior like cleaning. Awkwardness is a product of social hierarchy and social anxiety. Baboons can experience social anxiety, which can be related to their own dominance rank and the dominance rank of their social partners. Signs of anxiety in baboons include self-grooming, self-scratching, yawning, body shaking, and self-touching. Awkwardness. Boredom. Boredom is extremely common for animals in captivity, seen in dogs who are stuck at home all day, and in animals in zoos, on farms, and in cages. Researchers have now proven that boredom is experienced by animals across the species, from gorillas to fish to chickens. At a university in Adelaide, students taking a class that involved training chickens took a questionnaire before the class, showing that most of the students believed chickens were simple creatures unlikely to feel boredom, frustration, or happiness. After 2 hours training the birds, the students were far more likely to appreciate that chickens can feel all three of these emotional states. Calmness. Calmness is a mental state of peace of mind, essential for well-being, that all species naturally embrace. Many animals are drawn to calm environments, and practices such as meditation and yoga. From the peaceful stillness of a perched bird to a cat's serene restfulness, we often witness moments in the animal kingdom that mirror human meditative practices. Cows ruminate or chew their cud, which is similar to meditation. Animals have many ways of calming themselves when they are stressed, such as self-care, cleaning, isolation, sleep, eating more, or seeking comfort with others. Confusion. A team of scientists has confirmed what many pet owners think they already know, that some other animals get confused, like humans, and clearly don't know what's going on. Confusion reflects the ability to search the brain for the right answer, a form of cognitive self-awareness. Uncertainty about what is happening, intended, or required is seen in all animals, in new environments, in changes to routines, situations, and behaviors of others, or when being asked to do things that they're unsure of. Craving. A powerful desire for something. Desire is inherent in animal behavior. Craving for high-reward substances, such as high fat or high sugar, is seen across the species, such as in salivating dogs, or rats who will eat through walls to get to their favorite foods. We share the same reward systems in the brain that lead to craving and addiction. Sadly, some scientists have taken advantage of this similarity by creating animal addicts to study human addiction. They found that rats that take cocaine on a regular basis behave in the same way as human addicts. Disgust. Disgust is surprisingly common across nature. Disgust helps humans and animals avoid diseases. Anticipatory disgust comprises aversions that are learned through contact with sensory disgust elicitors. For example, food that visually resembles bad-tasting food is avoided and may evoke nausea and a negative state. Judging the likely taste of novel foods from prior learning of appearance may be a specific instance of anticipatory disgust, food neophobia. There is evidence of food neophobia in many species, including chimpanzees. Wolves learn to avoid certain meat after getting sick from eating it. Cows learn to avoid certain plants after associating them with nausea and illness. Rats avoid certain foods they have gotten sick from eating in the past. And birds learn by witnessing the disgust of other birds to avoid certain foods. Sheep don't just learn which specific plants make them sick, but also which plants act as an antidote to those specific plants. Empathetic pain. It is now well documented that animals feel the pain and distress of others, and that emotional contagion and empathy exist throughout the animal kingdom. Rats use the same brain area as humans to empathize with others. Brain scans revealed that witnessing pain in others activated the same brain regions as when the animals experienced pain themselves. In geese, simply observing other individuals socially interacting has been shown to affect heart rate and hormones in bystander individuals. Their heart rates were highest when watching a partner or a family member involved in a conflict. Researchers have now proven that animals from pigs, birds, and elephants to rodents, primates, and goats recognize pain and distress in others and seek to comfort or console them. Rats, pigeons, and monkeys will give up food to spare others from pain. Entrancement. A feeling of delight, wonder, or the state of being put into a trance or hypnotized. The act of entrancing and the state of being entranced are important in mating rituals, such as dances, songs, and displays that are designed to be entrancing, capable of attracting and holding interest, charming. This quality is important in the animal world. The songs, dances, ritual displays, and physical beauty are all intended to captivate, entrance, and lure potential mates. Envy. Envy and jealousy are inevitable emotions that arise from social hierarchies and the dynamics of social life. Wanting what someone else has and worrying that someone will take what you have away, whether it be territory, resources, social status, friends, partners, or mating opportunities. Envy and jealousy underpin most conflict and competition in the social lives of animals. Wanting what others have is seen in mate choice copying, a phenomenon found across the species, in which individuals choose to pursue mating partners that other individuals have chosen. Social life and competition are based on obtaining or being the best. Whether it be physical traits, social positions, partners, resources, territory, nests, or displays, animals compete for the most enviable prizes. Envy and jealousy are products of social dynamics, and these feelings are experienced by both free-living and domestic animals across the species. When monkeys watch their mates interact with stranger males for 30 minutes, their cortisol levels increased, an indication of social stress, and brain scans revealed heightened activity in an area of the brain associated with social exclusion in humans, the cingulate cortex. Like other emotions, envy and jealousy also cross the species. Farmer Rosamond Young writes of a cow called Amelia, who developed a friendship with her brother Richard. Amelia would get jealous if he paid attention to the other cows, and when he'd apologize to her, she'd toss her head up, turn her back, and walk off. He persisted and hugged her until she licked his hand huffily in forgiveness. When he left the farm, she would wait and keep watch for his red car returning. As soon as he drove up the road, she ambled down and waited in the yard for him. She never mistook any other red car for his. Excitement. Animals get excited about the same things we do. Social interactions with others, especially if those animals are in a positive mood. Adventure, exploring new environments, and taking journeys. Play. Food. Romantic relationships. Babies. Gatherings. And reunions. Research shows that animals get excited when they learn new things, solve problems, and accomplish tasks. Birds flap their wings to show excitement. Dogs wag their tails. Others jump, dance, or sing. Studies show that chickens use flush skin and feather fluffing to display levels of excitement. In situations that caused both excitement and a positive emotion, the birds displayed an intermediate skin redness. Fear. Fear is a natural response to a threat of danger, harm, or pain. It can be a one-off feeling or a long-lasting problem, leading to anxiety disorders over time. Threatening stressors increase cortisol and adrenaline in the blood and increase the heart rate. While it's well known that animals feel fear, just how sensitive they are to stressors has been revealed by researchers who found horses showed an increase in heart rate just by looking at photographs of angry human faces. Sheep's heart rates increased by 20 beats per minute when they were unable to see any members of their flock, and by 84 beats per minute when approached by a man and a dog. Horror. An intense feeling of fear. Animals feel a landscape of fear just like humans. And we are just beginning to learn just how strongly hearing bumps in the night can affect animal behavior. When predators are around, animals like small birds, squirrels, and gazelles begin to see their environments as a mosaic of safe and dangerous places, known as a landscape of fear. If that isn't spooky enough, researchers recently discovered changes according to the light of the moon. Cautious wildebeest choreograph their movements to the light of the moon. Zebras move unpredictably to confuse lions. And gazelles stick together in groups. Interest. Interest or curiosity in humans and animals is an evolutionary adaptation that helps individuals learn about and adapt to their surroundings. Animals show an interest in anything new and investigate it. Rats will explore new areas of a maze purely out of interest rather than an expectation of food. Curiosity is seen throughout the animal kingdom, from free-living to domestic animals. Tim Sell, chair of the National Farmers Union in the UK, writes of cows. They are tremendously curious. The interest and curiosity that we share across the species are rewarding behaviors that feel good. That the curiosity gene also found in birds is related to dopamine is significant. When we actively pursue new information through our curiosity, we're rewarded with a flood of the pleasure-inducing chemical dopamine. The desire to explore new terrain, to learn new things, to get new information and expand our knowledge, is rewarded by feelings of satisfaction and is intricately linked with cognitive flexibility and the desire to expand, grow, and evolve. Joy. A feeling of great pleasure and happiness is abundant in the animal world. Animals get enjoyment out of many different things and seek out experiences merely for the joy of them. The animal world is alive with the sights and sounds of joy, from animals playing to birds singing. Researchers have discovered that birds often sing just for the joy of it. Our results suggest that birds sing because they feel good, and that singing helps them to maintain this positive state. Researchers found that rats also chirp for joy when playing or being tickled. in frequencies beyond the range of human hearing. Nostalgia. A sentimental longing or wistful affection for a period in the past. Feelings of nostalgia are usually triggered by sensory memories of the past, and smell is considered the most powerful sense for triggering memories and nostalgia. Animals with powerful senses store strong sensory memories of the past. For example, dogs and rats have a much stronger sense of smell than humans, and use smell to build and replay memories of places, things, events, and individuals. We now know that, like us, animals have episodic memory, and they refer to related past experiences when processing sensory inputs. Rats can replay episodic memories of past odors, and they replay unique events in sequential order. Not only do they replay memories, they also imagine and daydream. All humans daydream and imagine, and so do animals, scientists have found. While animals dream about events they've experienced while awake, their brains reactivate the visual, auditory, and emotional areas associated with these memories. Like us, animals live within a world of memories, and they compare current experiences, either implicitly or explicitly, with prior experiences. For animals who live in a realm dominated by scent, the world is a nostalgic place. They incorporate multiple odors into their memories and can essentially time travel through the world of smell with the ability to sense subtle shifts in the olfactory environment as time passes. Dogs can tell how long ago someone or something was in a place based on the intensity of the scent they leave behind. As they track down missing people, they can smell time as they follow a scent trail. And they can smell time passing. As a day progresses, air currents move around and take odor molecules with them. Just as a scent can transport us back to a time or a place, this nostalgic experience is also witnessed in dogs, who have emotional reactions to certain familiar scents, particularly of those who have died or gone missing. In dogs or wolves, yearning is often expressed through howling. When members of the pack are missing or lost, the sound of howling carries a long way and will help bring the lost animal back to the pack. But dogs and wolves also howl for no apparent reason. Could they be yearning for memories or images from the past? Darwin first suggested that some dogs' howling is the result of fantastic images from their own minds. Romance. The animal kingdom spends a great deal of energy and effort on courtship. Birds spend years learning and perfecting courtship songs and dances. Animals spend years training to become worthy mates, learning fighting skills and courtship techniques, and working their way up the social ladder. It is as if partners need to prove their worth to the other before they consummate their relationship. Romance is found throughout the animal kingdom, in all the same forms that humans have inherited. Offering gifts, singing love songs, kissing, grooming, feeding, nuzzling, sniffing, sleeping close together, changing the tone of their voices, such as soft warbling sounds in ravens or quiet whining sounds in wolves, and using body language to seduce. Across the animal kingdom, Animals from sheep to dogs to birds fall in love. Some romances are short-lived, some are lifelong. Most birds have lifelong partners. Albatrosses often return to the same partner for their entire lives, sometimes for over 60 years. The whole year they are flying over the oceans, and then once a year, they come to an island and see each other and greet each other, and there are rituals that really look like love. It is unlikely that romantic love or any emotion first appeared in humans. Romance is far more common across the animal kingdom than once thought, often taking place beyond human sensory perception. Only 5 years ago, scientists discovered that the high-pitched squeaks made by mice are actually complex love songs beyond the range of human hearing. In mouse courtship, the male chases and sings to a female he likes. If she's smitten, she slows down and croons a tune of her own. Sadness. Sadness is a common emotion in social animals. Animals experience sadness when separated from friends or family, when isolated from their group, treated badly, when lost or abandoned, or after losing a loved one. Animals display grief in a manner similar to humans. They become lethargic, stop eating, sleep where the deceased member used to sleep, self-isolate, or become clingy. Satisfaction. A pleasant feeling that you get when you receive something you wanted, when you've done something you wanted to do, or achieved something you wanted to achieve. As in humans, satisfaction in animals comes from different sources, such as social success, breeding success, securing resources, homes or territories, discovering new places, learning new things, and solving problems. Emotional reactions to learning refer to the emotional effects of improving on a task, apart from the reactions to a reward itself. Studies show that animals enjoy learning how to solve problems and choose to learn even without reward. Sheep show satisfaction at their own achievements and success in solving a problem. Cows also showed emotional and behavioral reactions to solving problems. Sexual desire. Like any other behavior, sexual approach and copulation are determined by motivation. And just as with other behaviors, the same motivation is found across the species. Like humans, rats find sexual activity rewarding, and the basic mechanisms of sexual motivation and general arousal are similar in humans and rodents. Rats could be perceived as mirrors of human sexual and social conduct. Male rats have a variety of sexual habits. One of them is motivated by sexual desire. Sexual motivation is associated with anticipatory behavior. Anticipatory behavior can be defined as a male rat looking for a female rat to have sex with. Both male and female rats exhibit physiological and behavioral changes that indicate they are aware of and enjoy sexual stimulation. In the rat sexual world, females proactively solicit males. The female chooses which male to attract and when. She actively encourages the male to chase her by running towards him and then abruptly turning and running away. It turns out that humans and rats have much more in common than we thought when it comes to flirting and seduction. In humans, earlobe touching is a sign of flirtation. In rats, ear wiggling is a signal displayed by female rats during courtship, because like humans, rats have erogenous zones in their ears. Women sometimes flirt by pushing back their hair. Female mice do something similar by cleaning themselves vigorously all over. Researchers found that, like humans, male rats can learn to associate certain scents and even clothing with sex, and subsequently find females wearing that scent or clothing more attractive. Rats have similar physiological reactions to humans during sex. Both male and female rats display behavioral patterns consistent with orgasm-like responses. We thought we were the only species to enjoy intimate interactions. If animals indulge in more sex than is strictly necessary for conception, that too might hint at a pleasure-driven motivation to do the deed. A female lion may mate 100 times per day over a period of about a week, and with multiple partners. Up to 75% of bonobo sexual behavior is purely for pleasure. Surprise. The feeling caused when something unexpected happens. The final emotion, surprise, is common throughout the animal kingdom. From childhood through adulthood, unexpected events take place. And even animals who think they have seen everything can get surprised.